Hi everybody, happy Friday. I am going to be reading from my blog on Psalm 17, and it is titled Apple of His Eye, and the synopsis is, God covers me in the shadows of His wings, and His watchful eye is always on me. It's been a while since I've done a Psalms post. They take more mental energy for me because I have to be more intentional about quieting my mind, stilling my own thoughts and what I want to say in order to hear God's thoughts and what He wants to say. To be honest, I feel like I haven't been doing a very good job with that lately. I've been pushing myself hard emotionally, mentally, and physically the past few months, and it takes a conscious thought for me to move my foot from the gas pedal to the brake. But my foot is on the brake this morning, and I'm choosing to listen for what God has to say in the verses of Psalm 17. I've sporadically read over this psalm several times in the last 3 months, hoping to feel that spark I get from God when He's planting an idea in my heart, but I've had nothing. Not an inkling of a thought, a stirring, a flash of inspiration, nothing. Until this morning. I was praying for a woman I've never met. I don't know her name. I don't know her story. All I know is that she and I both attended Priscilla Shire's Fervent 2.0 event this past Tuesday night. And I should mention that I wrote this in October of last year. So yeah, there was definitely no event attended this Tuesday. Anyway, we both, along with many of the 1,500 people in attendance that night, filled out prayer request cards that we deposited into a box. Everyone who wanted to could take a card from the box as we left. And we were instructed to storm the gates of heaven this week on behalf of the person who represented this prayer request card we randomly grabbed from the box. Such a powerful thought, knowing that somewhere in the St. Louis area someone is praying for my request, just as I've been praying for the woman represented on the card in my hand. Except my attempt to storm the gates of heaven have felt flimsy and half-hearted this week. More of a strolling towards heaven? So this morning I chose to be more intentional with how I was praying for this random woman's prayer request. My favorite way to pray for other people is to pray scripture over them. This morning I started with Psalm 91, and then something brought Psalm 17 to mind. I flipped over to it in my Bible and prayed the words of this psalm over this woman. And this is what I prayed. Hear, O Lord, her righteous plea. Listen to her cry. Give ear to her prayer. I pray it does not rise from deceitful lips. May her vindication come from you. May your eyes see what is right. Though you probe her heart and examine her at night, though you test her, I pray you will find nothing. I pray that she will be resolved, that her mouth will not sin. I pray that she is able to keep herself from the ways of the violent. I pray that her steps will hold to your paths, God. Do not let her feet slip. I pray that she will call on you, O God, for you will answer her. Give ear to her and hear her prayer. Show her the wonder of your great love, you who save by your right hand those who take refuge in you. Keep her as the apple of your eye. Hide her in the shadow of your wings from the wicked who assail her, from her mortal enemies that surround her. They close up their callous hearts and their mouths speak with arrogance. Protect her from the hard-heartedness and pride of those around her, God. Her enemy has tracked her down, surrounding her, waiting to throw her to the ground. Like a lion hungry for prey, like a great lion crouching in cover, rise up, O Lord, confront her enemy, bring them down, rescue her from the wicked by your sword. O Lord, by your hand, save her from men whose reward is in this life. Still the hunger of your child that you cherish. Provide for her every need and the needs of her family. I pray that in righteousness she will see your face, that when she wakes, she will be satisfied with seeing your likeness. Excuse me. As I said, I know nothing of this woman's life or struggles, but God does. In his great wisdom, he can take every blind prayer I have spoken for this woman and work miracles for her in great and mighty ways. I won't know this side of eternity the battles he's waging on her behalf this very day, or how he is showing her the wonder of his great love for her, that she is the apple of his eye. This phrase, apple of your eye, stood out to me each time I've read over this psalm. I can't remember ever seeing this in scripture before. I looked it up, and there are only 5 places in the Bible this is used. All 5 references refer to God keeping his people as the apple of his eye. For example, Deuteronomy 32 verse 10 says, he, God, found them, which would be the Israelites, in a desert land, and in the howling waste of the wilderness he encircled him. He encircled them. He cared for them. He kept them as the apple of his eye. Verses 11 through 12 of Deuteronomy 32 go on to say, like an eagle that stirs up its nest, that flutters over its young, spreading out its wings, catching them, bearing them on its pinions, the Lord alone guided him. No foreign god was with him. The phrase apple of the eye originally referred to the pupil or the center of the eye. If someone is keeping a close, watchful eye on something, they have their eyes front and center, completely focused. That is how God looks on us. He doesn't give us a distracted, quick glance out of the corner of his eye while he's working on something else. He gives us his full attention. Like the eagle fluttering over its young, spreading out its wings, we are the apple of his eye, worthy of his protection and his care. As I was rolling this idea around in my mind, in my heart, I heard God speak to me. And this is what I heard. You are the apple of my eye. Not just an anonymous woman on a prayer request card. Not just people in the Bible or whoever is reading this blog. You. It brought me up short because I didn't think I had been questioning that, but God's watchful, never wavering eye doesn't miss a thing. So, with my foot on the brake this morning and my thoughts quieted before him, I see the truth of this for my own life. This season I am in has required a lot from me. I've felt pulled in a lot of different directions, trying to meet everyone's needs, to be all things to all people, and still have time and energy for my own needs has left me feeling depleted and empty. But who said I had to be all things to all people? That's God's job, not mine. My job is to just surrender all the things and all the people. To remember that he is fighting battles for me today that I know nothing about. To remember he thinks I'm worth fighting for because he loves me. My job is to remember I can surrender and rest in his capable hands, that I can look to him to meet every need I have today. To remember that he hides me in the shadow of his wings and is watching over me. He sees every challenge and every struggle I'm facing today. He has not taken his eyes off me. No matter how distracted I get, his focus never wavers because I am the apple of his eye. And that is my blog on Psalm 17. And I was just looking to see when I actually did write that. So that was September of 2019, which, as I stated in my blog, was the beginning of a very trying season in my life, which I feel like we've just gone from one trying season to another that we're in right now. But the words that I wrote in this blog, however many months ago that was, 8 months ago, feel very true for me today. To remember that that God cares about me, and that he sees me, and that anything that I am going through or facing today, it matters to him. And so I hope that there's something in here that would be encouraging or helpful to you. And this is my last Psalm blog that I've written. Since I have been in, one trying time after another over the last 6 to 8 months, my blog writing has really slowed down, and I just never got back onto the pattern of, or I guess not pattern, but the habit that I had gotten into of meditating on the Psalms and, journaling. And also because the next Psalm obviously would be Psalm 18. And number 1, that is a huge Psalm. It's like 50 verses. But number 2, Psalm 18, specifically the first 3 verses, have been, they have been verses for me that have had a lot of meaning. And so I think I felt like I could not even really, like I couldn't even go there to think about, either what those have meant to me or, I don't know. I had kind of a mental block there. So, in sharing all of these Psalm blogs on my Facebook page has sort of reawakened my curiosity, I guess, and I just am it's very interesting to me to be able to, break down these verses and just see what God brings to mind. And so I decided earlier this week that I was going to attempt to do that with Psalm 18, or at least maybe just the 3 verses. I don't think I could do 50 verses. That's a lot. But with that being said, I don't have any more Psalm blogs written. So my plan is to keep doing these videos because from what I'm hearing, it's been helpful to people, which I'm grateful for. So I thought I would go back to these blogs from the Psalms have spanned probably like 1.5 years of time. And so I thought I would go back to around the time when I wrote the first Psalm blog. Well, probably a couple months before that, but when I started my recovery journey in April of 2018, one of the things that my therapist had me doing was to start writing again. And so out of that writing came a whole lot of things that I started turning into blogs. So anyway, my thought is to start sharing those. So some of them are more recovery related and 12-step recovery related. So, and I get that that's not for everybody, but the things that I have learned in recovery, the things that I'm still learning, I feel like, I could share those, and if you get something out of it, then great, and if not, then I guess that really isn't up to me. So that's my plan. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to go back to 2 years now, so it'd be April of 2018, so 2 years back, and just start sharing the blogs, and I think some of them are just poems that I wrote. So anyway, that's my plan. And so I will be back tomorrow with that. And I hope everybody has a good rest of their Friday. And enjoy the sunshine if it's shining wherever you are at. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.